Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another daily journal, and it's a beautiful month of February 2026, and I want to talk about something that has been stuck in my spirit for a while. This will be a really long video, so if you are actually watching this video currently, according to the title, Navigating Your 20s, I feel like you're at some point in life where it feels like you're stuck, or you're looking for answers, or you're trying to discover yourself. You haven't found yourself yet. And a lot of us, myself, I experienced it as well. I grew up from a very, very Christian background, a good home, good parents, great siblings, but it wasn't always easy. And I noticed while growing up, there's certain things I weren't able to open up about or talk about with my parents. And yeah, sometimes we all have such parents where you can't really discuss certain things. And it made me grow to learn things for myself, understand a few things for myself, try to search and find what I feel like was my own purpose, or why I was meant to be here on earth. And if you are still trying to discover yourself, there are questions you should be asking yourself from your early 20s. Who am I? What am I doing here? What have I been called to do here? What am I achieving on this earth? Your purpose. And most times, people just come and go. They don't want to really create an impact. We all first grew up with dreams, aspirations. A whole lot of people, when you were younger, you notice that you had more dreams than when you start becoming an adult. A lot of decisions, a lot of experiences, a lot of life experiences just get to influence your decisions and the outcome of what or how your life turns out. And I dug deep into the lives of people I want to be like, or people I really look up to, and I figured that they they had a different perspective when it comes to life, and that was finding purpose, understanding yourself. And you're in your 20s, you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want, you're confused, you've had a whole lot of life experiences stuck in your head, different encounters, different analogies, a lot of things coming, going, and you are just, it's almost like you're giving up. But one thing I notice is when you have a calling upon your life, when you have a purpose, life kind of feels di- distraught. It kind of feels, you know, this is not what you want to do with yourself. You have that first conviction in your head that this is not who I am, and there's something more to me. There is a weight on my shoulders, and there's a burden that I need to bear. And I know you're actually feeling that right now. You have that burden, you have that urge that there is more to your life than what it actually is. And this brings me to something you should actually do more in your 20s, and that is learning and developing yourself. Learning, constant learning, unlearning and relearning. There are some things that some people get to discover themselves quite early, they get to understand their purpose quite early. And that is the grace of God. It takes the grace of God to be that swift, or be in a position where someone points out a gift in your life, or your parents, your mentor, someone close to you points out that this is what you've been called to do, and you pick it up and run with it from early. While some come from a background where they have to discover themselves a little bit later. If you notice, I did not mention late, because there is nothing late about discovering your purpose. It's either it comes or you find it. So, and that finding it sometimes takes processes. So that is why I said right now, If you are navigating your 20s, you need to learn skills, learn discipline, learn communication, learn how to read, learn how to write, the basic things. Know them, and you will see in the process of learning, picking up skills, picking up hobbies, characters, things that you feel like you should know for yourself. A certain level of clarity begins to come to you about what you want for yourself, the higher calling you want for your life, those dreams that you know you want to chase. And it feels like sometimes your life, you are not actually moving in the direction that you want to go, or you feel like your dreams that you're chasing is not valid. And sometimes it feels like people are looking down on what you've been called to do for yourself. But believe me, no dream, no goal, no destiny is ever small. There is always that's why I said there's always a purpose, there's always a gift, there's always a calling to answer. There is something that gift that has been deposited in your life would answer to. Forget the parties, forget the fun. You are called for a different kind of movement. You are not called to be ordinary. And I know there are some fun things that you must have actually, their mistakes you must have made earlier. Forget about them. Don't let them guide you, or don't let them make you or think that you are not that person, or you are not who you've been called to be. It's okay to make mistakes. That's why I made mention of sometimes you don't have people to guide you towards the path that you are going. So on your part, you get to make some mistakes, some errors, some faults, some flaws that you feel might control your life, but is something unique to let go of the past and grow into something better. Let go of your mistakes and grow into something better, into someone better. You might be distraught, looking down on yourself, cast down. It feels like the world is over. Sometimes you run into depression and anxiety. It is okay. But what's not okay is to remain stuck in your past, to remain down. You need to find the will, the zeal, the courage to keep moving, the bravery to keep living, to keep moving. Involve yourself in activities that keeps you grounded, that keeps you active. Work out, stay fit, exercise. Try your best to stay active. A sport that you know that can keep your mind and your blood circulating from time to time, even while you're learning skills, even while you're learning something. And sometimes it can feel like you are alone, that no one gets to figure it, no one is there to help you. You get to step out of your shell, step out of your comfort zone, interact with people. There is no amount of no's you can get that one day you will never receive a yes. And once your alignment and the divine alignment of God upon your life comes, opportunities, once they meet you, you'll be prepared because you spent a better part of your life learning, understanding yourself, understanding your calling, understanding your purpose, and whatever area it is in life that God has called you to be in, you would dominate and you would definitely represent in those areas. You might be called into the sector of sports, into the sector of education, entertainment, politics, agriculture, whatever it is that you know that God has called you to fulfill purpose in, tech, whatever area that you know that God has called you in, you should start learning about those things, watching people in those spaces, watching people in those areas, successful people that have done it. And do not be selfish, because if you do not do it, a lot of people are going to suffer because of you. So you have to do the work. You have to lay that groundwork, you have to lay that foundation so that others can grow from it. A lot of you have been called to be mentors or to be mentors to younger people. You have been called to be powerhouses, but you do not end up living up to those potentials that God has actually placed upon your life because you have limited yourself, or you've decided to remain somewhere that you feel is comfortable enough for you, and you do not want to lift up from that position because you feel like you might make some kind of mistakes, or you're not ready. And this brings me to another part: is you can never be ready. You stay learning on the job. No one is fully ready. Great CEOs, great entrepreneurs, people people you've been hearing their names, and you are hearing their names, are constantly learning. And most times they move out of fear. They don't even know what they want to do next, but they know that they have been equipped to some certain extent to solve some problems, that when they get up, that they find a way to navigate and grow to learn more at whatever level or stage they found themselves. Navigating your 20s can be tough, yes. It can be lonely, yes. It can be boring, yes. But one thing I would always advise is that it is better to do the hard work now that you're younger than when you're older. That's why I emphasize on finding yourself earlier when you're younger than finding yourself later when you're older. Because when you get older, it is a bit harder to pick up some skills. You have family to worry about, you have kids to worry about, you have bills to pay. In your 20s, it's more like you have an ample amount of time to learn, to build yourself. Fixing yourself in places that you know that you have something to pick up. I said I love there's something I used to do then when I was I'm actually going to be 29 this year, so there was something I loved to do when I was in my early 20s. I love to have fun. That was like more of a coping mechanism for me because I felt like that was what I needed at that point. To me, I felt like that was what I wanted. I've always been called to help people, and I've tried my best to know that you can't help people when you haven't helped yourself. Because if you keep helping people when you haven't helped yourself, at some point you become a liability because you have nowhere or nothing to pour out from. And that would now take you to a part of where you need to build yourself so much, so well, that you can never run dry. So a lot of you have been called to be helpers. You've been called to be big names in industries, to feed into capacities that you know that God has positioned you directly to fill, but you cannot fill those positions if you are not fully equipped to handle them. This is not a motivational video, it's not an inspirational video, but this has been led into my spirit to talk about and speak about it. Normally I won't get to make this kind of videos on my own free will, but I felt the need to talk about it because it is something I have actually experienced for myself. It's okay to be misunderstood at any point. Like, it's okay for people to misunderstand you. Your dreams don't make sense until it starts making sense. It doesn't make sense to anybody. Like, you can tell someone, let's use this for instance, in the book of Genesis, the story of Joseph. Joseph told his brothers his dreams, told his parents his dreams, and they were like, Joseph, are you okay? But yet, Fast forward to years later, those dreams that Joseph had came to manifestation, in the sense that if God has placed some kind of things in your life, has placed some kind of calling upon you, it doesn't really make sense to a whole lot of people. It might not even be your family, might get you, your parents might get you, but people might not get you, because those dreams, those visions, they are not given unto them. It is you. And now you have the responsibility to develop yourself and feel yourself in such a way that you have the capacity that when it's time for those dreams to come to manifestation, you are not found wanting or lacking, and you get to deliver. I want you to believe in yourself like no one else will. Believe in yourself. Be your number one fan. Be your number one motivator. Be your number one encourager. Even when people are not clapping for you, you're not getting applause from the world. Applaud yourself for every milestone and step you get to achieve. And what I'm going to tell you one more time, do not stop learning. Do not feel that you've learned it or you've gotten to a point where you know it all. Keep learning, stay learning. Even when you reach to a certain pedestal in life, keep an open mind towards the point that you are a baby. And that would help you to grow more. That will help you to move more. Learn to communicate with people. That's something I'm actually learning more right now. I'm an introvert, but people do not see me as an introvert because I stay acting more like an extrovert, because there are certain things that you cannot do for yourself that people would need to push you. When they see those skills that you have, when they see those grades that you have built, God has placed in your life, and when they push you, project you, you are able to interact and communicate with people, and they will pick up that value in you and distribute it. So you have been called to disperse value. You have been called to disperse greatness. And you should never look down on yourself. You should never talk down on yourself. The world needs you. Your family needs you. A lot of lives, millions, thousands, hundreds of lives, communities, villages, cities depend on you. Because if you do not rise, it might take a whole lot of time before someone else gets to fill that shoe that would help those people rise. Forget the selfish part of it. Like I said, you are called for so much that you do not even know. You are called for so much more. And do not neglect anything that you learn from life. You might have made mistakes. I said that earlier. You might have made some mistakes. Might have done some things that you do not feel proud of. But it's okay. Those are mistakes. You learn from them and you move on. Do not give up. I'm giving myself that advice as well. Do not give up. And if you're watching this video from whenever or whatever time zone that you get to see this, you are enough. Your purpose, your dreams, your light is valid. Your life is valid. And whatever you've been called to do, God has placed it in your heart to do it for a reason, because He knows you will do it well. And there's something about God that I know is for a fact that He might place something in your heart and He will place it in 100 of other people's hearts as well. It's now someone who decides to act upon it and move that gets to shine. So act upon your dreams. Young man, young girl, young boy, your life is valid. Stay off the drinks, stay off the alcohol. Leave the guys, leave the women, leave the parties. Work on yourself, equip yourself, develop yourself. And trust me, it will come to a point where those things that you felt were fun won't even be fun to you anymore, because you have known better. You know better now. You know what to do, and you know what calling that God has placed upon your life to achieve. And I believe that these words, they are coming from my heart. That I didn't write anything, I didn't script them, and it might not be as structured as I want it to be, but I believe I've passed the message that has been laid in my heart to pass to whomever this video needs to get across to. Thank you so much for watching, and I want you to love yourself, love God, learn, make quality friends, have quality communications with people. Try it. Even when people tell you no, that's fine. Don't take it to heart. That's part of life. But never let someone, I saw this somewhere, when it gets to a point in life, don't let the winds get to your head, and don't let the failures get to your heart. You are enough. And I hope God drops it in my heart to drop more videos like this for you. And if not, I'll keep dropping more journals of my day, what I've been up to, how my year is going, and I'll try my best to stay consistent putting out videos for you. Thank you so much, and God bless. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. If you've not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like this video, share so that it gets to reach whom God has actually destined this video to reach out to. All right.